MAGA versus MAGA. What better way to begin than Tulsi versus Tulsi? Not hard to find. Tulsi Gabbard, a woman who's been on every side of every issue, on different sides of the war issue. So let's see what she said at the big Madison Square Garden rally.
Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars, not start them, and who has demonstrated already that he has the courage and strength to stand up and fight for peace. History will look back on us at this moment for the choice that we make. Did we choose war or peace? Did we choose poverty or prosperity? Did we choose censorship or freedom?
President Trump called me 3 hours after his shooting.
He said, did you really
I come and
that
sit
there?
down with him? And he said to me during that meeting, he said, there are some things that we can agree on and some we disagree on, but the landscapes on which we agree are so much larger. He said, I want to end the wars.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I want to end this surveillance and censorship.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, wow.
I want to protect the Constitution.
Oh, is that right?
I want to protect freedom of speech.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, you think that we deserve a president who's going to end the warfare state and rebuild the middle class? Oh, you want a president who's going to put America first?
You mispronounced Israel. They keep mispronouncing Israel.
You're such a fantastic moron.
So Michael Tracy here, we're going to use a few of his. He's been all over this.
He's the receipt man, this man.
Yeah, he really is. Unfortunately, no one could have seen this coming. A huge shock. He's quote tweeting Tulsi from January 3rd, 2020. We do not seek regime change, Trump declares as he escalates his regime change war against Iran. Neocons like Graham/Bolton are cheering. To all who voted for Trump because of his anti-war rhetoric, it's time to realize he lied to you.
Oh,
Stand with me against Trump's Iran war.
Oh.
Wow, man. Wow. This is like her whole political career is like an OnlyFans account. You know, whoever's paying her, whoever's giving her the opportunities. And I'm really, I don't know how she's going to square this circle, because back in March, this is what she said about Iran's nuclear program.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.
This is March. This isn't 7 years ago.
Yeah, 90 days ago.
A couple months ago. 3 months ago, she said this. So they're telling you Iran is on the verge of a nuclear weapon. Cruella didn't seem to think so back in March. Nobody contradicted her. Trump didn't say, yeah, she didn't have all the information. Nobody contradicted this, right? Time to resign in protest, right? Principled person that we've been told she is.
I should have hired Liz Cheney. I shouldn't have been so mean to her.
I should have hired Liz. We should have reconciled.
Yeah.
So this was funny from Primo Radical. MAGA influencers today. There's Don Draper selling it. War, but for Israel.
But for Israel.
Here is Sean Hannity speaking of influencers trying to sell it to the base.
As an American, ask yourself a simple question. How many missiles would it take from a foreign country and their proxies that would be fired into the USA, into our country, killing American citizens, terrorizing American citizens, before you would want that country stopped? Would it be 1 missile? What's your threshold? 2 missiles, 100 missiles, 1,000, 10,000? You know, what would you expect American leaders to do if this country, the #1 state sponsor of terror, was, according to reports, a month to 6 months away from arming themselves with a nuclear weapon, as they have been firing these tens of thousands of missiles throughout the years?
Well, that sounds reasonable. That sounds reasonable.
You talk about a guy who should be on
but-
OnlyFans. This guy will just say whatever the administration in power wants him to say, provided they have an R next to their name.
Isn't Israel the #1 state sponsor of terror?
Yeah.
They sponsor their own. So Tucker, as you'd expect, is not having it, and he called it out, and this opened up the rift very quickly and made it very apparent who lands on what side of it. The real divide isn't between people who support Israel and people who support Iran or the Palestinians. The real divide is between those who casually encourage violence and those who seek to prevent it, between warmongers and peacemakers. Who are the warmongers? They would include anyone who's calling Donald Trump today to demand airstrikes and other direct U.S. military involvement in a war with Iran. On that list, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Rupert Murdoch, Ike Perlmutter, and Miriam Adelson. At some point, they will all have to answer for this, but you should know their names now. Now, Mark Levin really lost his shit about this. This is one of many, many tweets he put out about this. More insanity from Chatsworth Catarlson. See what he did there?
Chatsworth Catarlson.
Hey, thug. Oh, look, he's going all gangsta. He's going gangsta. Hey, thug. I never said to the president that American forces should bomb Iran. The leaker who is feeding you is a liar, as are you. So why do you keep lying and smearing people? Now, Sean and others, you're a reckless and deceitful propagandist. It takes one to know one, Mark. And that's the best I can say. You promote anti-Semitism and conspiracy nuts. You slobber all over some of the most evil people on earth. It doesn't occur to you that your supposed sources are disloyal to POTUS. Hang on. So you're talking about him slobbering over the most evil people on earth, and at the same time, you're declaring your loyalty to Donald Trump. That's interesting. You and they are undermining him, and you just declared your break from the president, from Sadia Lida. You don't give a damn about our armed forces. You know, one could argue the person who wants to keep them out of harm's way actually would be the one that cares about the armed forces.
Yes.
Instead, you give aid, misspelled, but I've been there. We'll let that go. Aid and comfort to our enemies with your act. We won't forget. You're a paper tiger. Your threats mean nothing. It's ironic that he's using a phrase that Mao actually coined to describe the U.S., but okay. Constantine Cassine. The real divide isn't between people who support Israel and people who support Iran or the Palestinians. The real divide is between people who think that the way to achieve peace is to let Iran build nuclear weapons and people who aren't regarded, we will say, for the algo.
Again, you get this guy. They just, here he goes, just parroting, same thing.
Well, he's the son of an oligarch, right? He's the son of a Russian oligarch, Constantine.
Yep.
Richard Spencer with the Ukraine flag, no less. Yay, Tucker. The divide between Zionists and non-Zionists. No one is in love with war for its own sake. You want to ride the fence on Israel. On the one hand, you'll signal your belief in end times prophecies to boomers. All right, man. The thing about being attacked by a demon in the middle of the night, which I'm convinced was Alex Jones in a Red Devil suit.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy, but okay. On the other, you'll signal anti-Semitism to the online right. What you won't do is clearly state your position. It's a pretty clear statement of his position. I'm not clear on your position from what you just wrote there, but I'm very clear on Tucker Carlson's position from what he wrote. Here's Eric Weinstein, and boy, am I glad that after that stint at the douchebag dialogues, we ran away from all these freaks, because that's looking like a pretty good call now, right? The U.S. has every right to step away, but if Israel alone frees the Persians from the mullahs and rids the region world of a malignant thermonuclear theocracy, again alone, then that will have consequences as well. Israel there's the other tack they're taking. We're doing this to liberate the Iranians.
Same as Iraq.
Vietnam redux. Israel is not attacking the people of Iran. It's trying to end a regional and global nightmare regime. Well, if they were going to do that, they would turn the weapons on themselves. At least let us wish them and the Persian people a safe night while Israel is working through the wee hours to make sure that the mullahs won't be able to strike us here with WMD. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. And let us pray they know what they are doing. Godspeed. Now, listen, I'm sorry, man. I know some people will say, well, I like some of what Eric Weinstein says. I'm sorry, man. There are certain things that are just disqualifying. They're disqualifying. When you say some shit like this, it's disqualifying.
Yep.
I don't care what he says about anything else, because at that point, look, I go to an expert because they know something I don't. Now, if I have to go double and triple check what you say, there's no reason for me to go to you. That's why I go to you, because I expect you to know. Once somebody says something like this, their judgment is so tainted, they're worthless as an expert. Even where they're right, you don't know if they're right. You can't trust them after that.
That you would use the phrase WMD. That you would actually type that into a tweet and hit send. You're actually going to use the WMD fear-mongering after the events of the last 20 years. It's unbelievable. And yes, it is discrediting and disqualifying on its face.
Playing the classics. An illustration of how much public opinion has changed on acquiring nukes inside Iran. A woman not wearing a hijab. I thought they come and beat you if you don't wear a hijab. I've seen all these videos of women walking around Iran without a hijab. But not wearing a hijab tonight in Tehran, passionately demanding that the Islamic Republic build an atomic bomb. Those around her start yelling in agreement. So these are the Persians that, according to Eric Weinstein, are just sitting there praying for the West to come liberate them from the oppressive theocracy they live in. These bastards have been driving us crazy for 400 years. After all this time, we have been waiting to attack. These scoundrels spent a year and a half killing 500,000 people. Now an attack. We want an atomic bomb. Why not an atomic bomb? Strait of Hormuz, didn't you say you wanted to close it? Do it already. I want an atomic bomb. Yeah, wow. Wow, those people really look like they're going to greet the Israelis and the Americans as liberators, don't they? Don't they? Matt Walsh, as you would expect, taking the other side. Israel is its own country and perfectly capable of taking care of itself. We do not need to be involved in this and should not be. Our country is under invasion. Our cities are besieged by crime and dysfunction. Those are the problems we should be focused on fixing. Our people need to be protected and prioritized by the leaders we've elected. America first, always. By the way, Candace is starting a network, and I'm the first hire, folks.
Yeah.
Mark Levin, rather than hang their heads in shame for the lies and distortions they have spewed. The isolationists are now desperately attacking the president, real MAGA, and the brave Israelis. You see, the real MAGA are the people who want to prioritize Israel and get into more Middle East wars. If you don't believe that, you're one of those crazy isolationists. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a neocon. Sounds like a neocon. Doesn't sound very America first. That's classic neocon logic. They claim to be the leaders of MAGA, the influencers, the new thinkers, and whatever BS they come up with. They are a cabal of reprobates. Reprobates, I tell you. Dumb as they come and dangerous as hell. And you scream safety with every word. Laura Loomer, I hear she's going to have a crazy-eyed baby with Kash Patel. They're going to double those crazy eyes between the two of them. A lot of right-wingers LARP as America first. If you watch their content, they are cheering for Iran. How can you call yourself America first if you cheer for a regime that chants death to America? Okay, I'm gonna venture a guess. They believe with some justification that it's not Iran that is pouring an undue amount of political influence through finance and blackmail into their government. It's not Iran, it's Israel. So if it might come off in some cases like they're cheering for Iran, I'd say what they're probably cheering for is that Israel is no longer able to exert that influence. That's probably what they're cheering for. Why can't these people just be honest and say they don't like Jews? Just say it. Why are people so afraid of being who they truly are? Just say it. Say it. You hate Jews. Say it. Ian Carroll responds. Now, okay, I met Ian Carroll at Rescue the Republic. He did tell me on the side he hates Jews, but I still feel he has a point. I'm kidding. He didn't say that. Laura, one need only read your timeline to know that Israel is your priority and America serves your interests in serving Israel. And you slander people who are actually American first and only to try to conceal the fact, which is double shitty. Yep, hit that one on the head, Ian. Jake Shields. Trump told Israel not to attack Iran. Netanyahu responded by telling Trump to fuck off and bombed Iran. Now he says it is America's job to protect Israel, and Trump says he will do as he's told. This is fucking embarrassing. Well, I hate to tell you this, but Trump's about to make it more embarrassing, Jake. Michael Tracy. Pundits and influencers last night, quote, Israel has made a mockery of the USA. This is deliberate sabotage of Trump. Netanyahu must pay. Trump within hours takes credit for the war. Trump can always be relied upon to swiftly humiliate his most deluded and sycophantic boosters. And here's the Donald, a little bit of what he said. I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. I told them in the strongest of words, just do it. But no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. I told them it would be much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told, that the United States makes the best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world, by far, and that Israel has a lot of it, with much more to come. Yep. This is Charlie Kirk. He actually came up in the Tim Dillon segment because he was one of 3 influencers who used almost exactly the same wording about the riots in LA. So clearly there was direction coming from unseen persons, as is very well probably the case here. Keep your head on a swivel. Biden let millions of people into America. See? Look at that. Look at that. Want to hit that reptilian anger at Biden thing so you don't look at this. Iran might activate some sleeper cells against Americans. Stay armed. Now think about it, because you got If there's one uniting thing in MAGA that I've seen, it's anger about the border and immigration, right?
Sure.
So what's he doing? He's tying that issue to Iran. See, you're in danger because Biden opened the borders and the Iranians brought in sleeper agents. So it's actually an immigration issue. It's not a war issue, it's an immigration issue. That's what he's getting paid to tell you in all likelihood. And of course, Laura Loomer. Be very careful today and this weekend in American cities and tourist locations, especially if you're going to be in D.C. Iran has many sleeper cells in the U.S. Iranian proxies from Hamas and Hezbollah will likely retaliate on U.S. soil to kill Americans in acts of Islamic terror as a form of retaliation to the Israeli airstrikes. Michael Knowles put out a poll. Should the U.S. go to war with Iran? No got 89%. Should President Trump allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon? No got 89%, according to him. That seems a little doctored to me, but okay. And my longtime partner here quote tweeted it. Mike Knowles says, "You see the president's conundrum." And he said, "No, but I see your conundrum." Their conundrum is, what the hell do we do to hold together our audience?
That's right.
How the hell do we support this war with an audience that is overwhelmingly against it? Overwhelmingly against it. And this was a funny meme. Just to put a button on this. When you promised to end 2 wars, and now there are 3. Oh, Donnie looks very dejected. So yeah, man, MAGA, the wheels came off faster than anyone anticipated, and I think we were among those who didn't expect the wheels to stay on for long. But I did not see within a matter of a few months the whole thing would just implode like this.
Yeah, no, it's just it has completely imploded. Anya Parampil posted, rest in peace, MAGA, June 2015 to June 2025. And that really is, this is really the end of it, I think, as a cohesive movement.
Please clap.